Hi there, everyone. My name is Dr. Amy Hollingsworth, and I am the Biology Lab Coordinator for Natural Science Biology. And I wanted to give you a understanding of what's going to be happening in natural science if you happen to miss the first day of lab. So let me walk you through the course a little bit. I'm going to start off on the home page of Springboard. Right now I don't have anything on here, but I'll be putting your video there. If you want to take a poke through Springboard and take a look at some different things, you can look under Content, and that has a copy of the syllabus right here, which is what I'm going to go through with you. And then we don't have any discussions. We won't use the Dropbox yet. You can go to quizzes, but there are no quizzes that you'll be taking through Springboard on your computer. There are quizzes that you'll have to take in the computer-based testing center, but we'll get to those in a minute. You can look to your class list, look at your grades, all of that good stuff. But let's get into what you may have actually missed by not being in lab on the first day. So we're going to go through the PowerPoint. Obviously, you won't be doing the lab, so since you're not there for the participation points, you won't be able to get those points. But thankfully, that will not affect your overall grade because we will end up dropping the lowest few scores anyways. So won't affect your grade at all, but you will be able to still take the quiz next week, or not next week because we don't meet next week, but the week after that. So you'll be able to take that quiz, and we will get you those points still. So let's start off by going through the syllabus. So there's a copy on Springboard, and you can get a copy when you come to lab, not next week, but the week after that. I am Dr. Hollingsworth. I am the Biology Lab Coordinator, and I'm most likely not the person who is teaching your class. You have a TA or two who's going to be in charge of your lab section. The Big Picture Biology Lab Manual, that is something that is required for the course. If I reach over here and get my copy out, you'll be able to see what Big Picture Biology looks like. It's got a frog on it. It's kind of this yellow and green color. And that is something that you absolutely have to have for lab by the next time that we meet. So either get that through the university bookstore or get that through the website that I sent out this morning. There is also a website that goes along with the course. So if we go here, you can actually see Big Picture Biology. If you go to www.bigpicturebiology.com, you'll be able to get a look at our table of contents, which basically is a copy of the syllabus, so you can see which labs are coming up when. You'll also be able to tell when we're doing group projects, which is something I'll get to coming up here in the video. And you have the opportunity to look through all of the labs. And so the nice thing about Big Picture Biology is that you can see it from your smartphone, you can see it from your tablet, you can see it from your laptop, so you can really look at that anywhere that it is that you're able to access the internet. And so looking here, going to Lab 2, Animal Behavior. The reason we're not starting off with Lab 1 is because Lab 1 has to do with termites, and because it's been so cold outside, they won't ship the termites right now because they would all end up dead. And that seems really funny to me because people spend so much money trying to get rid of termites from their house, and I can't even get termites in the mail and be able to keep them alive. So that's kind of a funny thing that scientists have to deal with. So we will be doing Lab 2 this week, but let me keep going through the syllabus with you. So please make sure that you note that both lab and lecture for natural science need to be taken at the Akron campus. So if by chance you're signed up for lecture at Wayne and lab at Akron, you can't do that because you can't get your points from lab by going to a different campus. So you have to be signed up for both of those on the same campus. So if you're not, please make sure that you get that taken care of. Another thing is that this is a science course for non-majors, and so if you're planning to become a nurse or a doctor or any kind of scientist, this is not the lab for you. This is purely for students who are business or education or communications or anything other than a science major. So we know that you are non-majors. The first thing that I put on here is grading, because that's often what students want to know. How do they get their grade from this course? And the grading is earned through 100 points on lab quizzes, 100 points on participation and attendance, and 50 points on the biology group project. So as you can see, that adds up to 250 points, and lab is 1/4 of your grade for lecture. So lecture adds up to 750 points, and lab adds up to 250 points. And so the lecture is 3/4 of it, and the lab is 1/4 of it. We'll be doing 12 quizzes over the course of the semester, and then we'll do 13 labs. So we'll take the best 10 of your quizzes, the best 10 of your participation, and your biology group project, and that's how you earn your possible points. There are going to be checkpoints at the 5, 10, and 15 week mark, just to make sure that you've got all of your grades in, that there's nothing that you have questions about, there's nothing that needs changed, because at those points, we'll make those grades final, so you need to make sure that they're correct. And I put something about that in the syllabus, so you'll be able to see where that is. I would try to make sure that you get your grades for your assignments back within 2 weeks. So I try and grade mine within a week, but as we all know, with all the stuff that we have going on, sometimes it's not possible to get things done in 1 week. So myself or your TA will have your grades back to you within 2 weeks. So if you're missing a grade for more than 2 weeks, that's definitely something that you should talk to your TA about first, and talk to me about if you're having any types of problems. This is what our schedule looks like, and note that it may change because we have all different kinds of lab animals, and sometimes getting those lab animals is kind of iffy, and so we have to move things around. But this is going to be the general schedule for the entire semester. Some of the things that are set in stone is that next week there's no lab all week because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and the 6th week there's no lab all week because of President's Day. And then this 11th week we've got no lab all week because of spring break. So note that there are several weeks that we don't have lab, and we'll try and remind you about that. And then you can go through and look at all of the topics. We try and cover the broad course of biology and do a little bit of everything. So this first week, we're doing beta behavior. And I'm sorry if you're missing that one, because that's one that students usually really like. And so these red checkpoints, those things are things that you're going to be doing with your project, because you'll be put into a group with other students, and you'll be working together on a common topic to create a presentation about. And so we'll be talking throughout this semester about how to do that. So as we continue to go down there, let me just check something really quick. I want to make sure I was recording. It would stink if I had been talking for 10 minutes and I hadn't actually been recording it. So you have a final group presentation, but you don't have a final for the lab. You have a final for the lecture. Continuing through this, you do have to have your lab manual. You do have to have it with you every week. The lab manual pages are going to get ripped out. You'll turn in your lab reports to me, and those pages you will write in your answers, and you'll hand these in to me every week, and that's how you get your grade. You do have to have an original one of these lab manuals, because I have to make sure that everybody has the safety precautions for the lab and all of the instructions, because I wouldn't want anybody to get hurt doing the experiments. So you can't turn in handwritten notes. You can't turn in things late. You have to have those lab reports with you. If you don't have the lab book with you, then you can only possibly get half credit for that. So if you get your lab manual lost, if you got it stolen, you will have to get another one. That's something that we have to be really, really strict about. Students often ask how to be successful in lab, and one of the best rules to be successful is come to lab. Make sure that you're here every week. Students often find that lab is the part of natural science that brings their grades up, because if you're not great at taking multiple choice tests in big lecture halls, then lab, which is hands-on and fun and participation based, that should definitely help you to be able to get a better grade for natural science. Make sure that you're participating in each one of the labs. Don't just sit there and wait for other people to do things. Actually get in, get your hands dirty, ask lots of questions, take lots of notes. Make sure that you're reading your lab manual and you're prepared for lab, so that you can ask questions about things you don't understand, or highlight things that you want to talk about with your teaching assistant. You're always free to collaborate with your peers at your desk or your peers in your class. The thing that I ask is that you don't take your partner's lab report and copy directly from their lab report. It's one thing if you guys want to share information with one another, but it's another thing if you're directly copying from your neighbor. That would be considered plagiarism. So get your quizzes done early. Your quizzes will be the same day that you have lab, so you can take them either before lab or after lab, and we'll talk a lot more about that throughout the semester. Quizzes are often the one thing that students have the most trouble getting the hang of. I promise you within a couple of weeks you will be an expert at taking these quizzes. Make sure that you fill in your questions completely. You don't want to just put one-word answers for the lab reports. You also want to make sure that you get the questions completely answered. Sometimes there's two parts to the question, and you have to answer both parts of them. So don't just scribble something in. Actually answer the entire lab question. And if there's a two-part lab, you have to make sure that you're there for both parts of it. Like, for example, we do a lab where we work with bacteria, so you have to be there the first week in order to put the bacteria on the plate. You have to be there the second week in order to look at the actual plate and read it. So we'll be utilizing some sign-in sheets and some grade rosters just to make sure that we've got everybody in lab and we know who's who and what they're doing. As I said, I kind of went through Springboard with you. We'll use that for everything that is official. And then we get to the quizzes. So quizzes are what students, like I said, always have the most questions about. These are going to be 10-question quizzes. They're all multiple choice. And they all come right from the lab notes that you're taking during your lab. So as you're going through the lab manual, you'll see that you have the PowerPoint slides in the lab manual, and then you're able to write in your own notes. You can circle things, highlight things, take note of things that are bolded. And these quizzes are something that you're going to go down to the computer-based testing center and take. Now, I don't know where you are right now, but I'm in Schrenk Hall North, and right underneath me in room 152, which is right below the biology lab on the first floor near the elevators, that is the computer-based testing center. I think it's called Computer-Based Assessment and Evaluation. So that's on the first floor. You'll go in there, and you have to bring your zip card with you. They won't take a driver's license. They will only take your zip card. So if you're not in the habit of carrying your zip card with you every day, please make sure that you do that. So you take your zip card, and you go in, and you hand it to them, and they'll give you a little ticket. You'll go sit at the computer that they assign you to, and you'll open up your Springboard, and there under quizzes will be your quiz. You will have a password for the quiz, which your TA will send to you in the morning in your UANet email. So you'll have your quiz password. You go in, enter the password, take the 10-question quiz. As long as they're not a line, it should take you less than 10 minutes to do. So we give you all day to do it. You can do it before lab, after lab. Whenever that computer-based testing center is open that day, you can take your quiz. If you happen to miss one of the quizzes, if you have car trouble, if the line is so long and you can't wait anymore, or if you have any other kinds of problems, you can miss 2 of the quizzes and still get full quiz points for the class. We'll drop your 2 lowest quizzes, so if you bomb one of them or you miss one of them, you still have the opportunity to take them. The only way you would do a makeup quiz is if you missed lab because of a athletic event or a university approved event or band or military or something school related. And so if you have missed more than the 2 quizzes and you need to make up a quiz because of an official reason, then get with your TA as soon as you get back, because you have 1 week from when you're absent to make up those quizzes. And then the quiz doesn't tell you which ones you got right or wrong right afterwards. So if you want to see what you got right or wrong, just stop in after the lab and ask your TA, and they can show it to you right from their computer. So going to attendance and participation, I know this doesn't have to do with attendance or participation, but there's no food or drinks allowed in the laboratory. Once you get a chance to look around in the lab, you will see that we have research animals in the lab, and state law says that we cannot have any food for human consumption around laboratory animals. So please don't bring your drinks in, or please put them in your book bags. Don't bring in any food. Don't eat on the lab tables, because you never know what's been on those tables. It could be bacteria all over those tables. So please don't bring in any food or drinks. You have to come and attend and participate in each one of the labs, and you have to be on time for those labs. Now, I know that many of you have gotten used to your lectures where you can slip in 20 minutes late and get those notes later on from a friend. This lab is not like that. This lab, we start doing something the minute that you get that the lab time starts. And so you should be there early and at least on time, because as soon as the TA starts lecturing, they're going to close the laboratory doors, because we talk really loud and we bother the classrooms across the hall. But that door will close, and once that door is closed, you cannot come in anymore, because if you miss the safety instructions, you cannot do the lab. So make sure that you are on time for the lab. If you are somebody who's chronically late or chronically has problems, figure out what time you have to get here so that you get parking and get into that lab on time. So if the door is shut and it's locked, it's going to be too late for you to come to lab, and so you'll have to use that as one of your drops. So you have to be in class on time. If you are not participating in lab, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or you're playing on Facebook, then the lab TA may choose to not give you credit for the lab. So you also cannot leave early from lab. You have to be there the entire time. So students participate in the lab. You can't leave the lab unattended. It's not like you can start your boiling test tube and then run to the restroom and talk on the phone for 15 minutes. So make sure that you don't ever leave your experiments unattended. Labs are never completed until the instructor dismisses the class. They'll check and make sure that all the water's turned off, all the gas is turned off, all the hot plates are turned off, that everything is cleaned up and put back according to how it needs to be set up. And then you will take your lab report and you will physically put it in your lab TA's hands. Don't just throw it on the table, throw it on the computer. You have to actually hand it to your lab TA. And that way the TA can look at it, make sure that it's your name, and that the report looks complete, and then they will give you the okay to leave. And it sounds really formal, but it's just the procedures that we have to go through. If you have any medical issues that might affect you during the lab, if you have allergies to any type of chemicals, if you have diabetes or something that might cause you to have seizures, if you are pregnant, if you have blindness or hearing issues, please let us know, and we will make every accommodation that we can for you. We want to make sure that you're safe at all times. So if you don't want to talk about specifically what your disability or accessibility issue is, just at least let your TA know that you have one so that we can take care of you and make sure that you are safe. This one says that if you miss more than 4 of the classes, that you may be withdrawn from the lab or dropped from the lab, which means that you would get a 0 for the lab, which means you can't pass the course. So if you're missing too many labs, or if you're not in attendance, then keep in mind we can drop you from the course. And I haven't ever had to do that, so I hope that none of you are the first ones. If you require like additional time on quizzes, a note taker, sign language, just let us know and we will take care of that. The next policy, as far as makeup and late work go, students are required to enter the lab section for which they are enrolled. You can't go to any other lab. It's not like you can say on Monday, like, oh, I'm not going to go to lab today at 2, so I will go on Thursday at 2. You have to go to the lab section that you are enrolled in. Additionally, you can't say, I'd rather be in the Monday lab at 6 instead of the Monday lab at 2 and just choose to go to a different one. You have to be in the one that you're enrolled in. We have to officially check you off on the roster. We have to make sure the only people in that room are the people that are enrolled in that class. Once again, this is a lab. We have a cutoff at 40 students, and so we will be using a sign-in sheet for the first couple of weeks. If you miss a lab and you haven't missed like a bunch of them, if you just missed one lab, you don't have to turn in a doctor's excuse. You don't have to turn in anything to me. But if you're missing lots of labs, that's when we would start asking for you to have a doctor's excuse. Because if you're not there to participate, you're not there to get any of the points. And so you can't get any points if you're not there to participate. This isn't like a lecture class where you can read the materials later. So if you're not here to participate, you lose out on those points. It says, I already talked about this, students with approved excuses like doctor's notes, university approved excuses, military, have 1 week from the date of their absence to make up the quizzes or the group work. And usually the athletes are really good about this. They bring in a paper ahead of time and say, these are the ones that I am going to miss, and so that's great. If you can tell your TA ahead of time, that is a wonderful idea. We will be doing a biology group project, which is a research project that will cover the entire semester. So you'll be working in groups about a topic that you're interested in biology. And we will go through that more in detail as the semester goes along. And if you feel like poking around on the Big Picture Biology site, if you go over to the side here, you can look at all of the information about the group presentations. So you have an idea of what is going to be coming. Look, there's me again. As you can tell, I sit here and do a lot of these videos. So so yeah, you can look at that. Back to the beta lab, and let's go back to the syllabus. Student code of conduct, as you know, don't plagiarize things, don't harass anybody, don't cheat, don't lie, don't steal. As far as the don't steal thing goes, be careful about like your cell phones and your laptops. I know sometimes people want to plug them in certain places, or they just leave them on the tables. Be really careful about that. The first 2 weeks that I worked here at the university, I had my faculty laptop stolen because I left it on the table, turned around to talk to somebody, and it was gone. So don't just leave your stuff laying around. Watch out for it, because this is a big school, and you want to trust everybody, but sometimes that's just not possible. So student code of conduct, don't do any of that crazy stuff, or you'll get referral to judicial affairs. If you are blatantly cheating, you might receive no credit for the course. As far as, oh yeah, don't smoke in class, or don't smoke within 25 feet of the building, or those e-cigarettes. Student communication policy, use your official University of Akron email so that I know what your name is. I've gotten some crazy Gmails over time. So I want to make sure that you guys use your UA Akron address. And if you need to set that up to go to your Gmail or whatever, there's a forwarding service. But always make sure that I know what your name is. If your name is not signed on your email and I don't know where you go, then I may not know who you are. Keep in mind there's 16 sections of this. Hold on. This is Amy. Hello. Yes, I did. Down at the Schrank Hall North parking deck, the upper deck, the door that's the handicap door between Schrank Hall North and the parking deck was broken, but I tried it last night and it worked last night. We certainly did. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye. All right, maybe I'll edit that out or maybe I won't. So, please be professional and courteous. Remember, we have 16 sections of the lab, and so if you don't put like, hi, I'm Megan in section 801, then I have no idea who you are and where you came from. So please tell me who you are and which of your sections you're in. Make sure that you're checking your email because we'll often send you updates during the week, and please don't sit and play on Facebook during class. I know that you are going to use your phones, at least I hope you're going to be using your phones to look at the big picture biology, and I know you'll be using your phones, but don't zone out from your lecture and play on your phone. If you're getting too distracted, then the TA may ask you to leave. So we went through that. If you have any questions, let me know. Just one of the big things that I think that you should keep in mind is that next week there is no lab all week. And so if you need to put that in a special calendar that you have, if you need to put it in your phone, if you need to write it down or highlight it, please make sure that you do that, because I've had students show up the next week and then they're very upset that they drove into school because they forgot there was no lab. So write that down. I know students, I know you should write that down. So as far as Lab 2 goes, it is the lab that has to do with beta behavior. I will give you the chance to go onto the website, and what you should do is take a look at this PowerPoint presentation. You can click through it yourself. It is a slide share so that you can take a look at it and see what all of the things say. You should read through the entire lab so that you understand what it is that happened during lab. There are also here at the end some cool fishy videos. So if you would like to watch those, that would be fantastic. And talking about what is animal behavior. Then we also have a glossary of terms. Those are the important terms for you to understand about the betta fish. And then we have a set of flashcards for you to study for your quiz. Now, the thing about quizzes is usually you'll have lab this first week, and then the next week you will take the quiz from this lab. So since we don't meet next week, you'll be taking it that third week. So the third week you will get a password in the morning. You can go take it before or after your lab, and you can go take it before or after your lab, but study for it. And this set of flashcards, there's 23 flashcards, that will really help you study for the quiz. So other than that, I think that's about all that I have for the first week. The students did the experiment, and so you weren't here for that, but you should have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I won't see you next week, but I will plan to see you guys the week after that. So I will shut this off, and you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Thanks.